Now I'm trying to think of how someone would listen to us not on the internet.
They would
Burn a CD.
Download
Can
it.
you imagine?
Rip it off of a podcast platform.
I do want to put one of our podcast episodes on a cassette because that
I
would
do
be
think
pretty
that-
dope.
Say
That would be pretty great. Hello and welcome to Saving People Queering Things, the supernatural podcast where you get an evil doppelganger and you get an evil doppelganger and you get an evil doppelganger. Today we are pulling up to season 7, episode 6 /fiction. I'm your host, August. My pronouns are they, them.
I'm Sam. My pronouns are they, them.
I'm Elayna, pronouns she, they.
And I'm Noah, pronouns he, him.
Okay, so my question today is, how would you go about your disguise strategy if you had to change your identity because of an evil doppelganger? And how would you do it better than Sam and Dean do?
Fuck.
Because they don't do a very good job.
Well, let's start with the hair.
Yeah.
We're getting some kind of hair that is nothing like any hair that I've ever had. Like
Are
wig.
you talking dye or style?
I'd
Or both?
probably do wig, yeah. Or I don't know.
I'd probably do a wig too.
Yeah, I would probably start with a wig and
Yeah.
see if I could dispatch of the doppelgangers. But yeah, and then some different glasses, a very different vibe. Like I would be like a freaky little goth kid or something instead.
Wait, that's not what you're already going for?
No,
What are you talking about?
I'm more of like a cottagecore lesbian these days, but
Yeah, that's true.
I could lean back into the freaky little goth thing. I definitely had that going at one point.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like
There you
Twink
go.
and Twonk. It's like freaky little goth
Twink
kid turns
and
into
Twonk.
cottagecore lesbians.
Twink and twonk.
Twink and Twonk. Have you not heard Twonk?
What's funny is I just said that yesterday. I called someone a twunk. Yeah.
That was
Actually,
so
no, I think I
mean.
called him a twonk.
Oh, okay, wow. That's not even a thing.
Right. In compared to this other totally
How
made
dare
up
you.
thing.
Okay, my answer, I would have to dye my hair. I'd probably go blonde again and just really throw it up. But the hard answer is I would have to shave the mustache.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'd
you would.
Look like a
It'd change your
child
face.
again.
Right, change your face totally.
And I would never want to do that because it's become a part of me. It talks to me like in Dungeons and Daddies, and I could not. It would be a struggle to get rid of it. I'm not gonna lie. But if there's an evil doppelganger out there ruining my street cred, which I have so much of, it would be bad. So I would do it.
Wow.
And then
Big
not show my
sacrifices.
face in public ever again.
I mean, that sort of helps with the whole evil doppelganger thing.
That's a good strategy anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like now it would be easier though because we have
it's normalized to wear masks.
Ooh.
If you changed your hair and you wore sunglasses and a mask and a hat.
And you just did that in any public space
And
where it was
dressed
reasonable to
differently.
do that.
What if I just go around in the Spider-Man
No one
mask
would-
constant?
I mean, I feel like that draws a lot of attention for other reasons.
True,
I
but you
don't
wouldn't
know.
know that it was you under there. So everyone
No,
would
but
just
I feel
be
like-
oh,
but-
that's this weird person walking around like Spider-Man.
But if you live in a community that's small enough where people are going to start to be like, that's the guy in the Spider-Man costume.
No,
True.
not the whole costume, just the mask.
That's the guy in the Spider-Man mask. I'd still
I mean,
feel like
like,
it's noticeable.
What if I wore red gloves, walked near a drum line, and put an Elmo mask on? Do you think that
Then
would
you would be in the city of Philadelphia in an actual timeline that exists.
perfect? Have we checked on Drumline Elmo's doppelganger? Do we know if they're running from the law in some way?
I
That'd
don't
be
think so.
cool.
'Cause, I mean, just regular drumline Elmo is like posing outside of burning fires for funsies.
I mean, but who knows who's under Drumline Elmo's mask?
If you have information
knows?
on Drumline Elmo, call in now.
He's calling the Bang Things tip line.
Call the number at the bottom of
We're
your
trying
screen.
to dox Drumline
I
Elmo
would
right now. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're
never-
doing
As a
right now?
Philadelphian,
Is that what we're
I
doing
would
right now?
fucking.
Because I don't think I can support that.
No, I
As a
just want to know.
Philadelphian, I would fucking never, and I don't ever want to see the face of the person under Elmo's thing.
feels like it would be
I
wrong.
want to see
That's like-
something under
That's like
there.
how I
We
don't
don't
ever
know.
want to see the person
You
in the
don't
gritty
worry about it.
costume because I'm sorry, that's just gritty, and I don't want to see that there's a
Yeah,
human under.
and
it.
apparently,
I really
I
don't.
actually do know someone who knows the person inside Gritty,
Hey,
and apparently
hey.
they're kind of a douchebag, which makes me a little sad. But I don't
Oh,
care.
That is kind of
God.
sad. That's actually
Elayna.
tragic. That's actually tragic.
That whole bit about
National
Gritty's
treasure
done.
Gritty.
It's out. We can't be letting the people know that Gritty's a douche.
Listen,
No,
Gritty the
Gritty's not a
character is
douchebag.
different. Okay,
Gritty
You're
the
right.
character is different.
Gritty the character is an eldritch, non-binary leftist icon who descends from ceilings.
And somehow
Wow,
hasn't been banned by the NHL, surprisingly.
And so now, August, you see where I'm coming from with Lucifer, okay? Because the person beneath
No.
the character is a piece of shit, but Lucifer is pretty hot, especially when he's covered in blood. We all know this.
I
Then
don't
you
know
can't
that Mark
see the person.
Pellegrino is like falls into the category of hotter when covered in blood. I don't know that he fits in that category.
Did
Oh,
you
were
watch
on
Hammer
an
of the
episode
Gods?
where we had a whole argument about this.
Yeah,
It was good.
And
Yeah.
you know, the podcast, as always with this topic, is split right down the middle.
Hannah, Theo, I need you guys. Come back me up.
No,
Let's go.
You can't bring in.
Last time I
outside
tried to
sources.
include one of my siblings on the episode of the podcast, they sent me to voicemail and never called me back. What's up, Hannah Beth? Where you at?
They never called you back.
No.
We were like asking them a question. We were thinking
That's
of a question,
hilarious.
and then we called them and asked on the podcast, and apparently they
I
just
just
ignored that message.
And
it went up
mid episode,
on
mid
yesterday.
voicemail, we recognized that we knew the word that we were looking for. It was just a second, whatever, it's fine.
We figured it out in anyway, so I guess they realized we didn't actually need them.
In media
Um,
res, that's what that means, right?
Yes, that's a different word and phrase.
Well,
But you know,
well-
sure.
It's because we figured it out as the media was being created. That's what that means, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. But you're describing our situation, not.
Yeah.
a
That
synonym
wasn't the
for the-
word we were looking for.
Okay, go. I get you. Let's move right along.
Wait. What was your answer?
Yeah.
Oh, I did
What
not
are
give an
you
answer to
doing
this.
as a
Yeah.
double?
Yeah.
Oh, as much as it's sort of, no, I think what I'm doing very intentional drag,
Ooh.
by which I mean I'm going to go super femme and it'd be very unrecognizable because I could just, if I lean super, super hard that way,
Nobody would expect it.
nobody's recognizing me. Nobody's
Yeah,
recognizing me.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm
That's
talking
very
like
valid.
go full out in a drag sort of way.
I could just like match Hannah
Nice.
Beth's vibes because we look pretty
What?
similar, and I could just like cut my hair like Hannah does.
You're
And wear-
just going to put Hannah in the line of fire?
Your
Yup.
sibling.
I'll be like, I got enough siblings. I can go down the line, be one sibling this week, one sibling the next week, and rotate them. You know, it'd be fine.
Yeah, and then they just have a doppelganger.
Yeah.
Let's have you. It is time to catch you up. If you haven't watched Supernatural recently, here is what you've missed on the road so far. Starting off with Noah, who is going to recap the show up to this point. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so two brothers, they hunt stuff. They love their dad, Bobby, and they go through all these struggles. They both go to hell at different points, and then they meet the gay angel, Cass, who loves Dean and appreciates Sam. And then they try to stop the apocalypse from happening. They accidentally start the apocalypse. Then they have to like figure out how to undo that. And Sam sacrifices himself to bring him, Lucifer, and Michael into the cage. They forget about their other brother down there, and then they move on. Sam comes back without his soul, and now they're hunting Leviathans from purgatory.
Well done.
Wait, there's a musical interlude when that Zoom timer ends.
Oh, I can.
and I was
change
vibing with it.
Let me.
No,
I'll do
I
another
like
one.
that one. I was vibing
Yeah.
with that.
Let it happen.
Wait, I didn't hear that.
Really?
You didn't hear that? That was delightful. Like,
All right.
Well, I have to do
Okay.
one, so we'll get there.
Perfect. Okay, Elayna, you're up for rack. Nope. Let me try
You're up
that
for
again.
rack?
You're up for
Whoa, August. I
okay.
get that your partner's out of town, but whoa.
Recap, Recap.
I did not with y'all.
I've missed you. I've missed doing this with all four of us.
Yes. This
Yeah.
foursome is great. Is that what you're saying?
Nice. That's nice. You're
Yes.
putting words in my mouth, and that's okay.
And that's what you did.
There was another one that you queued up right there. And
I know I did. I know I did.
passing
Yeah,
that one.
we all
I'm
did.
passing it
You're
up,
moving
okay?
right along.
I just want you to
Okay,
recognize that I have
We are
restraint.
going to recap now. We are going to recap this week's episode. This week's episode is season 7, episode 6, entitled /Fiction. And Elayna, let me know when you're ready.
Never. So let's go.
All right, you got this. 3, 3, 2, 1, go.
So Sam and Dean are on like a weird killing spree, except just kidding. No, they're not. It's their doppelgangers. And so then they're like, oh shit, there are guys who are shooting as us. And what do we do? Shit, guys. And so then they go and meet with this crazy dude who tells them, all this like conspiracy theory shit, but then also ditch your car, which makes me really angry. And then they have to go and they realize, oh shit, they're killing people in order of the places we went. Let's go to them. And then they fight them. And then Bobby and Jody have a date that ends with Borax killing bad things and they snog and it's cute. And then
this one is worse, but still kind of fun. This end timer.
Worse.
How come I don't hear it?
That's
do you
weird.
still believe in Santa Claus?
What?
The fuck was that,
Okay,
Elayna?
Polar Express reference
You have
for
a
anyone who's paying
stroke?
attention.
It was a what reference?
I don't hear
Polar
it.
Express.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I did
The
not.
kid doesn't believe he can't hear the bell.
Oh
That-
shit!
And he
Oh
couldn't hear it,
shit!
so I said,
That was a deep cut.
That was pretty good. Don't blame me for that
Elayna,
one.
will you hate me if I share my true opinions on Polar Express?
Oh, I was seconds away from
let's hear him.
I hated that movie as a kid.
Okay.
I hated
Fucking
it
hated
so
it.
much. Hated it so much. Could not stand it. Could not stand that movie.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, I think that's maybe why. I think you
respect
watched it a lot, and I really didn't enjoy it.
I respect that opinion because I watched it last year and was like, this is nightmare fuel.
It wasn't that it was scary. I just like didn't like it.
And
No,
it was
it's
like
not
a
nightmare
weird.
fuel because it's scary. It's nightmare fuel because their eyes are so dead.
Yup.
Uncanny Valley for days.
That's not Tom Hanks. I know what
I'm
Tom
sorry,
Hanks'
Sam.
eyes
I'm
look
sorry.
like.
I know you
But
love
but
that
here's the
movie.
thing.
That's
I
okay.
still
I
have
haven't
a
seen it in years
sacred
since
and
I was a
treasured place in my heart for that movie, and because it has "You Believe" by Josh Groban, which is my favorite.
Saw that motherfucker live once.
No, you didn't, Noah.
Mhm. Natasha and Pierre in The Great Comet of 1812. He was there. He
Do you
performed.
guys not know my pathetic and lifelong obsession with Josh Groban?
Okay, his best appearance
I
in
think-
the history of time was in The Muppets Most Wanted when he comes out of the gulag and is like fucking killing it with his pipes. That's all I gotta say about that.
I would
man.
disagree. I think his greatest performance was being creeped out by Sandy Ryerson in season 1 of Glee.
Yeah, it's hard to top that moment.
Yeah. Stop sending me calls. Stop emailing me and writing about me on your blog.
Okay, so now that you're all caught up on the Polar Express, history.
Yeah, let's go and talk about this supernatural episode. So this week we are pulling up to, trying that again. This week we are pulling up to season 7, episode 6, /fiction, through the theme of confusion.
Well, that's an accurate theme.
Can we start with Noah's reactions to this episode as a whole?
Of course. Obviously, I knew it wasn't the brothers murdering people, trying to reenact their version of Call of Duty's No Russian. And I was like, the fuck is that? Okay, that's not them. Okay, cool. Got it. I was super excited to finally get to the start of all the, the /fiction that happened out there on AOE about,
disappointing reference for the title.
I know. I'm sorry.
If you're
hurts a
going to
little
imply
bit.
/fiction, if you're going to imply fandom knowledge like that, and then you don't give us one single,
I know, I was
kind of do,
disappointed
and you do give us like Bobby /Jody, but like it's not like that was a fan like pairing that was like really popular at the
That
time.
one was just canon.
But I feel like it's just foreshadowing for the amazingness that is going to be the meta that happens in Robbie Thompson's episodes.
Okay, fair.
Because he's written /fiction, he's written fan fiction, and he's written meta fiction. He's the fiction guy.
He does
Oh.
like to play with a good little reference in his episodes, and he does do a lot of things in this episode I think that are quite are fun fan.
Fair.
I love the way that Sam and Dean not Sam and Dean comment on actual Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
I fucking love
That
it.
conversation
my
is
God.
phenomenal.
But he's
The scene with them
what did you
sitting
do
in
with your brother that annoyed you? I ate him. Of course you did. It's
It's so
course you
funny. It's so funny, and they're so right on the money in terms of their analysis of Sam and Dean, while also being just so fucking annoyed that they're having to do this job.
Yep. The one part that almost got me was whenever Dean gets excited about the Cooper's Diner or whatever it is, and he's like, "Oh, best hamburgers ever!" And he's like, "Boom!" And then they jump cut to them in the diner, and I was like, "Oh, wow, they got there fast." And then they're talking mad shit about each other and themselves, and I was like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
That's not them.
It was so good though.
Mm-hmm.
the
And then being
heartbreak.
like, "What if we
Dean's
swap?"
voice.
And Dean's like, "Nah, I like this one's hair better. You keep the tall one." Okay.
supernatural writers and finding any way to mock the Jared's hair is like a favorite of mine.
So fair.
Yes. Give me hair clippers.
It wasn't bad though. like he's been looking pretty good this season.
No, I actually don't mind this season 7. I think is a high point.
How it looks. I just love that everyone picks on him for it.
Oh yeah.
I just love that he cares so much that he's keeping it long, even though that's the most impractical hair choice for their line of work.
As you,
but he refuses to make a different
your
choice.
Hair out of your face just to.
I don't hunt monsters for a living.
No, I know. I'm just saying. It proved your point for you. You were like, oh, sorry, this is
my hair gets in the way when I'm just podcasting. Never mind, like going on a
running
hunting
around,
spree.
Having to shoot things with accuracy and whatnot. Like, okay, yeah, fair. I get it.
And Sam likes to run too. Like Sam likes running.
It's true.
And running with long hair is pain.
Just sweating in general with long hair is no good.
Anyway,
on a note of the fact that like they're kind of like trash talking each other, I absolutely loved on the opposite end of that the moment where the not Dean is like, "You're smart, surprisingly," but like he admits that the like Dean Winchester is very smart, but no one believes it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that very meta sort of like reminder.
Which that's Dean's whole steez, right? Is that he actively tries to downplay how smart he is, so that he can get away
and I
with.
Just love that acknowledgement from a character that is like in Dean's head and knows how he is, but is like admitting that.
And it's like not even that they're like in deep, like they're like the Leviathans are so interesting because they're not like, it's not like when like a demon possesses you where like you're in there and the demon's also in there, or an angel's in there and you're also in there, or like other monsters that like possess like ghosts and stuff. It's like with the Leviathans, it's like they take a copy of you, so they like know all this stuff, but it's still them doing all of the acting and all of the like they're using your meat suit, but they have all of your memories and your thoughts and like your brain, and like, but it's like a copy of your brain. It's like they've taken the most recent version of you and just sort of copied
weren't
it.
Like that, weren't they?
Yeah, Skinwalkers is the only other monster that's like similar, and that's like way back in season 1.
Yeah,
like, we haven't seen it, and Skinwalkers are so interesting because of that.
Yeah. But speaking of season 1, we get a nice little like weird callback to season 1. Sam drops an episode title, which we will not repeat on this podcast, but he drops it. He's talking about case 1, case 2, like he's going through them all because the Leviathans are going back through them all.
Also so meta of them because like we know they go on cases that don't end up on the show because they reference stuff that doesn't have it, but it's such a like meta choice to be like going through them in order. It's so interesting. And like I love that the Leviathans are like, you know, the best way to get their attention, and like they know that the Winchesters are smart enough to look for patterns. So you know the Winchesters will figure it out.
And the fact that Frank was like, I got no idea.
Okay, wait, if we're gonna talk about Frank,
let's get to Frank.
Let's talk about Gibbs from Pirates of the Caribbean. What's up? That's my guy right there.
Devereaux. Frank Devereaux, who apparently Bobby helped in the past.
Once. And he said, "You saved my life once, and now I just owe you the rest of it." And they're like, well,
that's kind of how it works.
Pretty much.
Because I guess.
They're like, well, and then Frank is like, okay, but I'm also going to take you for all of this money.
Yup.
Fair.
The way
Get that,
Dean
Frank.
says, Bobby Singer sent us, and he's like, let's go. Okay, I'm going to shoot you now. And he's like, oh, or not. Who? What are you talking about?
He's trying to be like, takes backsies.
Yep. I don't know what I just said. I don't know. Sorry.
Bobby who?
Frank.
Bobby Singer. I hardly know her.
Frank is so interesting because like Frank obviously is a conspiracy theorist. Like that's pretty like kind of what he's portrayed as, but also he knows his stuff.
Yeah. The way I saw him is like a more unstable version of Bobby. You know, like
but like without some of the supernatural stuff.
Yeah. He knows a decent amount of stuff about the supernatural, though. Like not a ton.
Yeah.
But like if Bobby focused more on conspiracy theories rather than supernatural stuff, you know?
And I do think it's cool that Bobby like goes, this is beyond, like Bobby can give them aliases and help them with like minor stuff for like normal hunting, but he kind of goes, oh, this is beyond like my scope of like fake IDs.
We've got to outsmart the FBI. Oh, let's call in my guy.
Yeah, we got to outsmart the FBI, who are like distinctly looking for you and know all your aliases, and they know everything about you. They literally know all of your aliases, so we got to start fresh.
Which I did like the explanation at the end of the episode. Well, I mean, they didn't so much say it, but the explanation that the way that they know all of their aliases is because a Leviathan had snuck into the FBI. And I can only imagine that the Leviathans are sharing information. So if we've got a Leviathan version of Dean and Sam, they know all their aliases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So give all that information
Well,
to the FBI.
They
also
said they
talk
know
about-
the alias because of Cass.
That's also it. I
That's
think it's a
also true. That's
I think
right.
genuinely it's a combination
were
of
in
multiple
Cass's
pieces of
head.
information. Because
That's right. I forgot about
Well,
that.
okay, but Cass wasn't, he quote unquote wasn't around in season 1 when these cases that
but he
they're
doesn't know
mimicking.
he doesn't know all of their alias for
Yeah,
sure.
but he definitely was watching them before he raised Dean, because otherwise, like, what reason would he have for raising Dean? Like, yeah, okay.
Orders. But yeah, I think that like he does, we do get the sense that like Cass definitely, I feel like you're right though, no. I feel like they definitely get the information from a few different sources.
Mhm.
And like Cass is maybe the biggest one, which is sort of again this huge betrayal, like even
It's
though
a betrayal of memory at that point.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
even worse.
and Cass is gone.
Real memory. That's
Put that in a poem. Let's go.
And like to do that right after like we know Dean has been dreaming about Cass.
Uh-huh.
So like we know that Cass is sort of like fresh on his mind. That betrayal of memory's gotta like I feel like stings even more.
Speaking of Angel of our Lord Castiel, where the fuck is he? I'm so mad that he's not back yet. He's got 4 episodes to get back in the show before I lose my goddamn shit.
Oh,
That Bobby doesn't get to give him like a send-off moment. And I'm just letting that be known here and now.
Okay. You let that be known.
4
and we
episodes,
will-
Castiel. Get your ass back here. What? Or maybe that's the reason why Elayna doesn't like this season, is because Castiel's barely in it. I would hate that even more. Gah!
I
You
don't
know,
who can say?
who can say?
Elayna
Us, but
and
we won't.
August and Sam, the 3 people I'm on this call with.
We won't. Can I just say, Frank, I'm gonna go back to Frank and say
Yes.
he's very good at like you gotta ditch your phones, you gotta do this and that, you gotta like get rid of all like
Smash
but
your
he doesn't
laptop.
tell them the really obvious, maybe it's because it's supposed to be the really obvious part of like, I don't know, maybe change
Wear
your
a fucking
outfit.
disguise?
They don't do anything to change the way to look. Sam walks into a gas station 5 minutes later and is like surprised that they recognize him.
Wild. I cannot believe he didn't pick that up with the way the guy was looking
Yeah,
at him.
why wouldn't he like
Like,
think about
you're a
that before he
professional
went
hunter.
into?
The fuck?
Sam, you are supposed to be better than this. That is so silly.
Yeah.
A momentary
And-
lapse of judgment on his part.
No, it was like a 5-minute lapse of
Going
judgment. Like, God
going
damn.
into the store at all
Yeah.
feels like a risk.
That should have been on his
And
mind.
what was he
I
even
was
getting?
less than going into the store, wandering around the town that you know that these two are about to kill a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Like-
in broad daylight.
After
Nope.
they've already said that they're going to that state. So like law enforcement is like high alert for you. They know
They
you're
don't-
coming.
They don't even
Right.
do the classic superhero disguise where you put on a cap and sunglasses. Like, what are you doing?
Which they have done
Yeah.
before in other episodes when they're trying to disguise themselves.
You are already 4 feet taller than everybody else around you. Don't draw more attention to yourself. Hide.
They don't
God.
figure out the car thing either, which is stupid. Like
Which,
they should have
okay.
ditched the car. They should have ditched the car even before they found out the Leviathans were using the same car. Because like obviously their car is recognizable. They should
Mhm.
have if the Leviathan have all their aliases, then they also know about the car. So
Which, okay,
they should-
maybe that's something we should talk about. How did they get the car? Did they like have to search up a '67 Impala and
Yes.
find one
Well,
with the
and that's
exact
why I
same
love that
frame?
Dean
Yes.
is like,
they did.
after this, I'm gonna seal those rims like Dean.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. My
That car
theory,
belongs to someone, Dean.
I want to throw this theory out there that maybe the car is also a Leviathan and he just shapeshifted into the car.
What?
I like it.
Noah,
It's fun.
Noah,
You know,
Keeps us
you did
fresh
know.
and going.
you know what, Noah? You
Well-
think of things that sometimes
Knight Rider. This is where we're at. The brain
What were you
worms
gonna
have
say, Elayna?
sunk in.
The level of unhinged that your predictions often are makes my heart so joyous. And
Thank
I just
you.
need to know
that is a new. I'm going to take that as a new canon. We have no reason to believe that's not
Yes.
true.
Yep.
Yes.
It's Cars
So
Leviathan.
does that mean they'd have to cut off the hood of the car or like the top of the cabin?
I think
Ooh,
you have to
okay.
cut off the engine. I think you have
If-
to cut off the engine.
If a car
Okay.
could wear pants, would it wear them like this or like
That's
this?
the question you're asking. We're asking
No, the engine's the brain.
hard-hitting questions.
engine's
on
the
saving
brain.
people's
So I
You
think
got to
you
cut
just have
off the
to-
brain.
I think you got to cut off the whole front half of the car,
Mhm.
like anything in front of the steering
Anything
wheel.
under the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
And then
is
you
a very
gotta-
thorough and delightful.
You can
And then you
leave
got to
the
throw
tires.
borax on it.
Oh
and watch it
shit!
melt.
You pour it in the engine, the car just
Oh,
explodes.
Don't put it in the gas.
Oh,
Oh.
it's the Wait. That's inserting it anally if we're talking about logistics here.
No, you know what the
That's
equivalent
bad.
of that would be if they did it with the human?
That's like
douching-
the mouth.
Douche
Isn't
the
that the
car. Douche the car
but
with borax.
You would think that would be the mouth. You're pouring the gas in. That's the mouth equivalent.
Okay,
But
so the
is that the
exhaust.
ass
The
of
exhaust
the
pipe.
car?
The exhaust pipe is the butthole. Can we-
Exhaust
can we
pipe
all
is the
agree on
butthole.
that?
Clearly.
Clearly. Okay. So
I was
what's
going to
the
imply
oil
that
then?
it's like if you were to like stab a person with a syringe, you're like immediately injecting the borax into the blood system by putting it in the gasoline tank.
No,
Yeah,
but I do
that does
think
feel like
August
the
has
most
a
effective
point
way to blow it up.
about if that's where they get the energy to run, that's got to be the mouth. So I think the
I do think
oil
it's the
could
best
be
place
like,
to probably put the borax, though.
that's
Right.
fine. If you could make them drink borax, bam, they're done for.
I mean, it's a car, so it does feel like the car being a Leviathan breaks down a little, in that the car doesn't have a lot of ability to do things on its own. Like, is then the car is a living being? So then does it totally lose all of its properties? Does it still need gas?
Ooh, maybe
Like, do
you
the
have to let the car
Leviathans
eat
still need to
someone.
eat? Because like the Leviathans don't have to eat human food. They do, but they're like, this
They
is
eat-
gross, and they don't
they-
seem to need to.
They eat humans as food.
Yeah. So the car would then also need to eat humans if it was a Leviathan.
Maybe they do a few hit and runs on the way to their next stop.
No,
Run
but
somebody
how
over.
would
Or the car. Oh my god, the
Eat that.
Leviathan mouth opening up of the front of a car.
Oh,
Just that
fuck.
size.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's
Listeners,
canon now.
I
for
know
sure.
Death of
I know
nightmares.
someone listening to this podcast does fan art,
Please.
and I'm gonna need it.
Someone do
I
an
Why has
Impala
nobody-
Leviathan.
Yeah, why has that never been in the slash fiction? Baby, no, it's Leviathan exclamation point baby, right? It's that order,
Oh, it
right?
probably exists.
No,
Okay.
I think it would be baby exclamation point Leviathan.
Yeah, because baby is the original.
I always thought it was Leviathan exclamation point D, like in those.
No, you're right. It would be. You're right. No, is right. Because it would be like if you're like talking about like
Oh,
Like-
you know what? Yeah, like other.
Wow.
author exclamation point
How
D.
did I
I
just
almost
school
said
y'all
one of them
on
that is not
AO3?
until much later seasons, and I'm really glad that I know how to shut up.
Proud of you.
Mhm.
I'm glad you do
Anyway, please send us that fan art.
I am gonna text.
It
August.
feels like that whole theory has so many layers, which really leads me into my mixtape suggestion for this
too.
episode.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
great. It does into mine too. So
That's how Sam and I were last episode. We picked our mixtapes off the same moment. Anyway,
Yep.
I went with Onion Boy by Isaac Dunbar.
What?
Onion Boy. Check it out. Go listen to it as soon as we finish this because it is a
I
fucking
love it.
bop, first of all. And it's really good. It sort of talks about putting on a face for people that you shouldn't have to put on a face for. It's very interesting. First of all, the vibes are immaculate. The chorus goes, brush your teeth, you onion boy. You brush them all for everyone but me. So sweetly, add a little flavor, then hit with your crocodile tears for fun. So
Okay.
it's sort of about making a mockery of someone while posing as someone you aren't.
okay, that's good. That's
Right?
good.
It's
Wow.
a very fun song. Please go listen to it.
That goes well, really quite nicely with my song, which is "Gives You Hell" by the All American Rejects.
Yes!
When you see
When
my
you see
face,
my
hope it gives you
face.
hell. Hope it gives you hell.
You walk my way. Hope you see-
Now I'm just gonna have to listen to that song too.
I just think it's perfect for the Leviathan sort of general attitude of like, haha, fuck you, Winchesters.
Fucking top-notch pick.
My pick is entirely silly. It ties in with the fact that Sam and Dean feel very under pressure because of the fact that these people are running around as them.
Fucking beautiful.
Pushing down
Very
on me,
good.
no man asked for, by the iconic David Bowie. And
Okay, what else happened this episode? Let me look back through my notes real quick. I really liked the note that the boys were presumed dead up until today, this point in the episode, right?
yeah,
Because we're assuming that the FBI assumed that they blew up in the explosion that killed Henderson, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he said they were there, like everyone knew they were there, and then bam, everyone's dust.
Yeah, they definitely say at the end of that episode that the Winchesters are presumed dead.
Okay,
but
R.I.P.
yeah.
Henderson, you were
Well,
way
that's why,
better.
like, if I may segue us into a topic, as
Please
mentioned
do.
by one Dick Roman.
Fucking okay. If we're gonna talk about dicks, that guy
Yeah.
is one. fun.
Listen, Noah, you want to know why I hate season 7? Because it's one long dick joke. And I realized that I just made one by saying that.
It's a long dick joke. Okay.
The 23 episode dick joke.
Is it hard for you to watch?
It's just,
Noah.
I'm like, guys, there's so many more clever writing choices to make. But anyway, but he mentions that. He's like, killing them like this many times may strain credulity.
Yep. That's
Like,
true.
that's a fair point.
Welcome to Supernatural.
Yeah.
Which, okay, this is the first time we've seen the Leviathan boss, right?
Yes,
it
it
hasn't
is.
happened so far this season. It was kind of wild to get the same reveal where we find out who the Leviathan boss is at the same time as we revealed that the young agent, who, by the way, was on an episode of Letterkenny. What's up, Letterkenny fans out there? It's wild to be like, okay, yeah, Mr. Roman, kind of intimidating name. Okay, we like it, especially because Leviathans are old as hell, and that's a cool, okay, nice. And then
It's kind of fun touch.
oh, sorry, your name is Dick Roman?
And that's what he wants to be called.
That's
what he wants to be
That's what he
called.
prefers. He prefers
yeah.
the Dick.
He literally is like, call me Dick.
Yeah.
Just a little subtle hint for you about
You could say
Yeah.
it's shorthand because he's got it short.
Yeah.
hand.
Womp, womp, womp.
Okay, we're getting Crowley back. Crowley's back.
With
Let's
the fucking baby
go.
muffins? No, thank you.
Which
Oh, you think
if
those
you
aren't
ever
poisoned?
forget that Crowley is not like a demon.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
a demon.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
a real bad demon.
That's another
then
thing.
he pulls things like this.
Yeah, I'm like,
You're kind of bad.
probably painted as this like funny character, but yeah, it makes you
It's often
forget
just
this
like, ooh, woo,
the
he's
king
just
of
a
hell
little
and
guy.
is
And it's like,
evil.
Which, okay, I think part
Like
of
I'm
that,
still on his side, but
Yeah.
like yes, he's evil.
Right.
he's
Yeah.
complicated. I'm not willing to say he's evil.
Well, okay, he does some evil things. I'm not sure that
I mean,
he's evil.
he
but
killed
does
a
some
bunch
evil.
of babies to make some muffins.
Well,
Which
maybe
does seem like
there
a-
were babies who ended up in hell and then he harvested
But
their
he doesn't
bits.
have the
That's-
sight of the future.
I'm sorry, why are any babies ending up in hell in your head?
Oh, okay. You've never met a demonic baby? Okay. Welcome to the real world, Elayna. Some of these kids out here are buck-ass wild.
I
Apologies to
my
any parents
God.
out there. I'm sorry. You
did
guys are
not
great, I'm
have
sure.
some babies are evil on my bingo card for this episode.
Well,
for
you
Noah's-
should adjust your bingo cards, everybody. Let's go.
I didn't think we were going to be justifying baby murder by like being
He
like.
doesn't say it's murder.
I mean-
maybe it's kids. Okay, wow, not to get real bummer on us, but
Let's not maybe. Let's just
Let's not.
let's
We're
just
gonna
keep
move on.
moving.
Okay,
I think
okay,
we just need to move on. Can I go back to something about Frank that we didn't actually talk about?
yes,
Wait,
please.
I want to go back to something too.
Wait, sorry. Wait, before we leave the conversation at the end with Crowley and
Yeah, let's
Dick
leave it on
Roman,
something.
the way that Leviathans feel about demons is super interesting to me because we've got such a wild
Yeah.
hierarchy of the supernatural creatures, and a lot of people treat angels as like the highest, but no, we learned from Zechariah they're not quite that high. There have been some demons who have proved themselves to us, like Ruby and Crowley both proved their usefulness at different times, and it's super interesting to have these Leviathans who were like quote unquote the first creatures created,
Yeah.
and them
Mhm.
having such a skewed view of demons.
And like a
angels.
disgust.
A
Like a
disgust
disgust.
for them.
yeah.
They're like, you're below us.
You are so far below us. We put hunters
nothing
above
to
you.
us.
Like what?
Yeah.
It's very interesting because especially when you think about like the whole like the theology, like the like sort of theology that Supernatural is pulled from, where like you've got, God makes the angels and then God makes the humans, but he likes them more.
Mhm.
And then the angels, and then the angel like Lucifer gets jealous of like the fact that God loves humans. And like it's really interesting when you add the Leviathans in there, because then you have Leviathans who are also like, actually, angels and demons, you kind of suck.
The oldest
we're
brother
cool.
who went off to college way before all the other kids were born, and now he comes back and is like, "The fuck are you talking about? These are your favorites? I was the OG." Like, okay,
He's more than that. He's like the brother who was like,
we're the OG monsters, but we're killed by a very specific chemical in cleaning products.
but that's the joke though. That's like God's joke on them. Is
It's
like
so funny.
God shoves the Leviathans into purgatory. God's like, lock him in purgatory, but I'm gonna leave something on earth that can just kind of like kill them panel. Oopsie daisies. Oopsies.
You know what? Okay, that's actually a
The
great
chemical composition of Earth. There's a chemical composition that kills the oldest monster that we've ever seen.
And that's the only thing.
And that's so funny.
How often is that chemical found in natural world? Is that?
Well, I don't know. Not like it's not a natural chemical, but like it's a compound that can be made from things in our world.
It's pretty common. The amount of times I've seen borax going around, sodium borate. Sorry.
It is a naturally occurring alkaline compound.
There we go.
Precursor in the manufacture of boric acid.
Interesting. Naturally occurring. What kind of where's it found?
Borax occurs naturally in evaporated deposits produced by seasonal lakes. There's a few places in Turkey and California where you can find borax.
Incredible.
Wow. It's a salt. It's like a salt. It's a sodium compound.
We heard sodium in there. I'm sorry.
Fascinating, actually. Yeah. We're learning science today.
Whoa. You tuned in for this episode. You didn't know we were going to make excuses for baby murder and learn science.
Also, August, what is this delightful worm thing? I just realized it's a worm.
Sensory toy.
I was about to say
it's a little fidget. Worm. It's a fidget and it's rainbow and it's
adorable.
Fun.
That's like the Hungry Caterpillar.
I'm obsessed with it.
I have one that's this big, one that's tiny, that's like a little keychain. And then I have this big one. And it's fun to play with. I'm gonna take it to school. It's gonna be a little school pet. A little class pet.
Does it have a name?
No, I'm gonna let my students name it this year.
Aw.
That's freaking precious.
So speaking of Dick Roman,
wait, I have a note about the Leviathan.
Please do. I didn't have anything about
Going
Dick.
Back.
I just wanted to make that joke.
I wanted to make a joke. Going back to the beginning of this episode when they have the Leviathan in the basement and Bobby is trying to figure out what killed it.
Okay.
The Leviathan is so unfazed by them and at the same time so annoyed.
Oh yeah.
About just their when they're talking upstairs and he just calls up and is it's the hair. It's not that hard to get hair from a shower drain. And it's he's rolling his eyes. He's these fucking humans. But then at the same time,
stupid. They're so stupid that I can just tell them what I was doing because they're not smart enough to outsmart me, even if I tell them everything.
Yeah, and they're why are you telling all this? Because they have to torture information out of demons, and he's just volunteering this information. And
he doesn't see them as a threat.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what he says. He's because I'm not scared of you.
It's fun to have monsters that they haven't yet been able to figure out how to scare.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to they have their torturing tactics down.
Yeah.
So they're so used to having that work, and all of a sudden there's this monster that's laughing in their face for the method that they're using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Bobby side of this episode. We've talked about. Oh no, sorry.
Well, this is going further into the episode, but the fact that the Leviathans, they really believe that they're invincible, and then when he gets the drip on him, he has this huge reaction because he's
freaking out.
Oh my god, get it off, because he's this is
they don't know their own. Well, that leads to that's what I mean by my theory that God just put something in the earth that could kill them just in case because they don't know. They have no way of knowing. They think nothing on this earth can kill them because
they think nothing in reality can kill them.
Right? Because in their reality,
they're being invincible. So
in their reality, they get laughed at, so they can't hurt anyone. They are the apex predator, and then suddenly they're what fucking salt can kill me?
What is this thing that's burning me?
Okay, I know we just referenced xenomorphs a couple of episodes ago, but I would pay good money to watch a predator come and hunt leviathans. That would be so interesting to me.
I love that for you.
That would be so cool, right?
Someone Predator fanfic, Predator Leviathan fanfic. Please. I was going to say Predator / Leviathan, but I was that's not what the point you were making at all.
If you've got that, send it to me. Let's go. I'm on board with that too. Enemies to lovers to the extreme.
Noah's just out here being a monster fucker on Maine, and I love that.
Fucking facts, dog.
Primordial.
I am Bobby. Because Bobby's a monster fucker. We established that last season.
We did establish that very recently.
Speaking of Bobby, though.
Frank, though. Can we go back to Frank for 2 seconds? Okay, because Frank says 2 really funny things that I just want to point out. Okay. He says, there's no such thing as a series of random robbery murders by your evil twins, which is just objectively a great line.
So good.
Classic Robbie Thompson line.
Like it's such a Robbie line. Like it's so clever and it's so funny. And then later on, they're like, well, what do we do? And he's like, well, I'd lay low because I love life and its infinite mysteries. And that's so funny because like he seems like a hermit.
Yep.
He seems like he has not left his house in 25 years. But he loves life and its infinite mysteries.
Yeah.
I just needed to point both those quotes out.
No, those were very good.
Also, I think there are more than 200 million cameras in the United States. I don't have facts on that.
In 2011?
Even 2011, it feels like that's low.
But he didn't say all the cameras. That's the ones that the government has access to.
But
so
that's what I mean. Is I feel
cameras,
like the government's got to have access to more than that.
Quote private cameras. Nothing's private anymore.
No, that's true. Maybe I'm inserting a 2024 cynicism and perspective on surveillance.
Oh no, I
into
hear
2011.
You. I get it. Big Brother is here, and we're all playing it right now. Okay.
So be careful what you say on a public podcast.
Oh yeah, like how I don't feel bad about babies getting murdered. Oh whoops. Okay.
Or how we just shit on.
I do feel bad. Just to clarify, I do.
We don't condone baby murder, and Crowley shouldn't have done that.
How fucked up is it that we have to clarify that? Like, damn. Okay, I'm not a Republican.
That's honestly very 2024 energy.
To be fair, not in a pro-life sort of way.
I was gonna say.
Just like make that really clear. I just want to backtrack myself a second here.
That babies exist as soon as they come out, not at conception. Just to clarify.
You do not kill babies when they are out in the world.
Yeah.
On their own.
Yeah. Abortion is not baby murder. I just want that to be clarified. I support
abortion
and its strengths and its helpfulness. And I feel like I'm digging a hole that gets getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
We just move on.
Okay, so Bobby this episode, right? Okay, he's so fucking good the whole episode. If you're gonna be stupid, might as well be smart about it. Fucking love that.
Yes.
Icon and a legend.
It's very much like a parent saying to a child kind of statement too, of like, I can't stop you from being stupid, but at least I can tell you like, here's how you be smart.
Yeah. In true Elayna fashion, one of my favorite tidbits of this whole episode is the fact that Bobby loves Joni Mitchell. Of course he does.
Oh my god.
Who doesn't?
And that he just like quotes poetry. Just
Bobby being actually like one of the more educated, cultured people. Because like we know he speaks Japanese. We know he likes poetry. We also know he likes soap operas and Joni Mitchell. And like Bobby's well-rounded.
And that he thinks Tori Spelling is a real talent.
He thinks what is a real talent?
Oh, babe. That was a Tori Spelling. It was an earlier reference.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm too young. Anyway, the way Bobby looks through the door, notices it's Jody, and then like tidies up his beard, which was already immaculate, sir. You looked fine.
Yeah. Also, you're making no difference, Bobby. Like genuinely, you look the same, literally always.
Which is
Bobby
to say,
has not ever looked different.
Phenomenal.
I did have a bit of a sad moment because I did forget that Bobby's house burned down.
Oh my god, Elayna.
I hate this season and I forgot it.
I also forgot about that.
In that episode.
So when she walked in, I was like, why is he not in his
Where the fuck are we?
I was like, what? This is not Bobby's. And then I'm like,
right, Bobby's house is burned down.
And I remember how jaded I am about this. I don't like.
Yeah. Please rewatch
I can't wait till we get to the end of season 7, only so that I can go on my full rant of all the reasons that I currently don't like it.
Okay, if you want to do that though, you legally have to rewatch it all. Just want to say because if you're pulling off of opinions from 10 years ago when you watched it, that doesn't count.
I did a full rewatch of the entire series in 2021.
Okay, of course, obviously.
That is how I ended up here, because on TikTok, I'm making supernatural fucking TikToks.
That's how you saw me. That's how
I was like, who's this awesome little dweeb that's making a podcast? Can I be on it, please? Like,
little dweeb.
That's the most affectionate use of the word dweeb I've ever heard. I feel so honored.
Oh my god!
I'm seeing all these other podcasters. I was like, they seem cool, but this one,
I wanted to pick this of all the ones you could have picked.
Listen, their autism matches my ADHD in a very specific way.
Yes, we love it.
And I just want to be friends with them.
Brilliant. Yeah, we are.
Thank God for TikTok, because
honestly,
otherwise we wouldn't have all ended up here.
Yeah.
Fuck anyone who wants to ban it. But anyway.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get banned.
Can pry it from my cold, dead podcasting hands.
Okay, speaking of Bobby though,
Yes.
The Jody shows up
Mm-hmm.
and
we love
and immediately Bobby's all like jokey jokerson.
Okay, yeah, every day's a gift.
You're all charmed, Bobby. So my therapist keeps telling me.
Which we love to hear that
I'd
Bobby
like
has a
to
therapist.
believe that Bobby has a therapist.
Slightly too soon for me, but also loved it.
Yeah, so fair. I'd like
to believe that Bobby has a therapist.
And then Jody coming back at him with the let somebody be nice to you for 5 minutes. Like she read him for filth.
Oh my God.
I'm so proud of her.
Bobby just being like, Jody just being like, Bobby, I know you don't ever let anyone take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why she's there.
She's just there because she's like, are you okay?
She's just there to take care of it.
The one issue I have with her showing up is there is no way that Bobby's secret cabin that he has would be able to be found by a cop.
But that
I feel like Jody is resourceful in other ways, and also
did they leave that information for Jody? Possibly.
Right.
She like. I only buy it if
she contacted the brothers and was like, "Where's Bobby?" And
did they know? She knows his house burned down, so she could have showed up to the scene because she's a cop in the town, and so he's like, "Hey, like I'm gonna be at this super secret place if you need anything."
I'd buy that Sam or Dean told her.
I would buy that.
I feel like,
or the fact that he like buys the cabin under an alias that he knows she'll know is him, like Sabi's being
I think she just knows that Jody is. It's obviously not only because she's a cop that she found it. Like she's resourceful in other ways. She has information on them already.
My one question,
she knows them personally. Maybe she knows his aliases, and that's how she.
Yeah, that's true. My question with Jody showing up is that there's no way she wouldn't have heard the news about the killing spree, and she doesn't ask about that. That's the part where I'm like, where's my suspension of disbelief? Like, I feel like that's the first thing out of her mouth is like, why the fuck are Sam and Dean killing people? Like, she knows
unless
she needs more information.
Them and asked about where Bobby is,
but then
it doesn't come up at all.
They would reach out to her.
The point of her being there is
they're prioritizing
that. The point of her being there is to take care of Bobby. So maybe she's being sensitive and she's like, maybe this is not a topic we should talk about. Maybe I'm just here.
Maybe I don't want to know the details because I don't. She kind of seems to not want to know the details. She knows there's someone in the basement, and she's like, "I'm not
she's not there to talk hunting. She's not there to like."
Which at this point, Jody's not a hunter, right? Like she's just sort of a human who cares about these hunters.
Yeah, she's a cop who's gotten involved in a couple of cases,
but she's also gotten really hurt. And the last time she was like almost killed. The last time we saw her, so I think she's like, she's probably just like, you know what? I don't need to know. That's not why I'm here.
Her having called Sam and Dean and got the lowdown.
Well, I feel like it would have been the opposite. I feel like Sam and Dean would have called her to be like,
"Hey, they would think to call her."
Yeah,
There's
I do.
No way.
I guess that's really recently, and they did deal with her with a Leviathan case. A Leviathan
so maybe
case.
they're keeping her up to date on the Leviathan because she's a cop.
And they just had to like ditch their phones, so they would probably reach out to all of their contacts to be like, "Hey, we have your numbers, but if you need us, this is how to reach us."
I wonder if this moment sort of destroys some of their network. Just sort of like I'm sure they call the people that are closest to them in their hunter networks, but I would imagine this sort of burns a bunch of bridges in terms of like others who are going to think that they went on a killing spree, even if they think it's justified,
I feel like
and then think they're dead.
Are the Dean people burning bridges Winchester and Sam burning bridges Winchester.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think they had a lot of friends left after season 5.
Yeah. I do very want us to get to one of my favorite moments that I see August has here in the notes. The car conversation that involves Baby being put in a corner.
Lazy movie.
And Dean singing to All Out of Love.
The note that I have for that is I love how soft Robbie Thompson allows Dean and Bobby to be in this episode.
Yes.
It's like Robbie knows that the macho-ness is a front for both of those characters and he like peels it back. He lets us see what they're actually like.
Yep.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things about that whole scene is one of my favorite things about this episode.
Dean Swayze always gets a pass. Like we need a buy Dean moment for this episode. Like absolutely.
Allow me to present my theory. Because Swayze always gets a pass, in my mind, Dean has seen and absolutely loves the film To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Picture Dean having a movie night of that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Swayze always gets a pass.
Swayze always gets a pass,
including when he's a drag queen.
Speaking of,
yeah.
do you want to
know what?
my notes for this episode on that scene specifically? It was I'm all out of love scene, all caps. Dean, the icon. Fuck, ruin me, please.
Apparently, Dean also always gets a pass for Noah.
Yes, correct. Correct.
I was a little annoyed at Sam, because he's noticing this like one fun, joyful moment. And this is before he knows about Amy. So like after that point, that's a little different. But like at this point, he doesn't know about Amy. This is the one fun, joyful moment Dean has had in like an entire season. And Sam just turns the song off.
So
it's a little
hateful.
mean. It's a little mean. And like it's just unnecessary, and it's not normal for Sam. It's kind of odd behavior for Sam, which I just
would be like Dean behavior because it's like macho-ness. But it's out of character for Sam.
It's out of character for Sam, and it would be out of character for Dean, I think, too, if it was a moment like it's very clearly a moment of reprieve.
Yeah,
and usually they both respect when the other person needs a moment to just like let loose.
Good point.
And Sam like cuts it off, which is sort of like almost foreshadowing of like where they're going to end the episode in terms of how they're doing.
I kind of wonder if it was to set the stage for building that tension a little.
I think so. Which is, I think, a wise choice, but it does suck.
It's a bummer.
It hurts a lot. And speaking of hurts a lot, let's just skip ahead to the end of the episode with the brothers and their whole relationship breaking up again. What the fuck?
Something I realized that I think was kind of nice about that is, so, they have the mention in the episode about like, our past cases or whatever, but the writing of that scene and the way it plays out and where it plays out felt very early seasons to me.
Yes. Oh yes. I had a point about this too. I had a point about this too, because Sam also has the same response that he has in early season, which is like, we're fighting, I'm leaving.
Yep.
I'm not even having this conversation. we're not even actually going to talk about it at all. I am gone. And that's like, I mean, and it's like, I get it. It's like warranted, but it's also very like they go through these phases where they like get better at communicating and worse at communicating. And this is again one of those moments where you're like, oh, we're reverting back to old patterns, which is Dean not telling Sam things, and Sam, when he finds out that, refusing to have a conversation about it and instead cutting and running.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And like bad choices.
Yeah. And just knowing that like Robbie is a writer who watched the entire series before joining as a writer in season 7, like it's evident.
He knows the lore. He knows their backstory. He knows their pattern. He knows their patterns. He knows that that's exactly how Sam would respond to this kind of a betrayal.
Yeah. It's very good. But also very upsetting because boys just fucking talk to each other.
Very upsetting ending to this episode. And you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You knew as soon as you saw Leviathans, and like as soon as you see the Sam and Dean Leviathan, you're like, okay, they're gonna end up interacting. That Dean Leviathan has no reason to keep that information. It's gonna come out.
Yep. Which just hurt.
Yeah, it comes out in the worst possible way. No.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of the brothers breaking up and moving on from each other. Like, can we not do that anymore?
Can we just be adults?
Right, can we communicate? Can we like maybe work through our problems? Because like this is a betrayal. Like Dean fucked up, but also
an appointment with Bobby's therapist.
The reason that this happened is because of like the circumstances around that particular case. And like, I'm not saying that if they talked about it, that Sam would agree with Dean's decision. I don't even think Dean agrees with Dean's decision anymore. No. But like, if they talked about it genuinely, they might have a little bit more of a like understanding of the like just the fact that this was not this wasn't like done with the intent of betrayal.
No, but it kind of was, because I mean, not like intentionally trying to hurt Sam, but he did specifically lie about where he was going.
Oh yeah, it's because he didn't think Sam would agree.
Yeah,
but it's not because he wanted to hurt Sam.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
with you.
And I think he knows pretty quick it's wrong.
Right, but it was.
And
not
I think
great.
I don't think he thinks it's morally right anymore. I think he realized very, very quickly afterwards that it was the wrong call.
Yeah,
but because
he can't take it back.
He knows he can't take it back, and Dean is not historically good at telling Sam things that might lead to Sam leaving.
Because he knows that's Sam's response.
Yeah.
So
and their relationship is pretty tenuous, like right now, because
just
of like
overall sometimes
since season six, since Sam came back, their relationship has been kind of like stressful.
Yeah.
Based on like everything.
I think it goes back further. Like there's still damage.
Well, but after the Demon Blood storyline, I feel like they got a lot closer and they like solidified
through
some
season
stuff.
5. Once they figured out, by the end of season 5, it felt like some of that had been resolved. But I think maybe this brings it all up again. Like what you're saying, Elayna. Like I think they resolved it, but then these themes come up in their relationship like over and over and over again.
Yeah,
and it's very much like Sam just being like, "Dude, I thought we were past this, and we're not."
Like, dude, I thought we told each other things. Dude, I thought we trusted each other enough to tell each other things, and
not quite.
Not quite. I think Dean's trauma from the last year and a half have meant that he now didn't trust Sam enough to tell Sam or to talk to Sam about this decision, and instead he made a fucked up decision and then decided to hide it, and it's coming back to bite him. Yep. And that's warranted. Like that's absolutely warranted. Sam's response absolutely warranted.
Yeah.
But I, in particular, hate that it's happening right here, right now, in episode 6 of season 7. 4 episodes before they really are gonna need each other.
Noah.
And I'm so mad about that.
It is a rough time for this to happen. It's also really, really bad timing for like just everything that's happening, like with the Leviathans. Like this is bad timing for them to split up.
And
Leviathans, they just lost their home base,
and they literally had doppelgangers of them. So like, and now you're gonna split up. You're gonna split up.
Yeah, they've lost their home base, their identities, and their house. Baby is their house, and they have to leave her somewhere.
And one of their,
and I'm still mad about it.
One of theirs boyfriend. So like,
big point of that where you're like, okay. Like Dean is just doing this faking, and like I think like Sam has been asking Dean like all episode and for several episodes like what is wrong, and obviously like one of the big things that was wrong is the whole Amy situation. Sure. But the other big thing that is wrong with Dean is that Cass is gone.
Yep,
and he's not talking about it. And like even now that the Amy stuff is out in the open, the Cass stuff is not.
Nope. But I think that one's a little bit more assumed from both Bobby and Sam's perspective.
You think? Because neither of them have talked to him about it.
No, Bobby tried to a few episodes ago.
Yeah, Bobby tried to once, but like right after it happened.
Yeah.
I have one more like this sort of a different point. Moving away a little bit. I just wanted to like because it's something I noticed and I thought it was kind of cool. I was noticing in the like fake Leviathan Dean, and I was thinking back about other fake Deans we've met over the course of like the show, like Skinwalker and like
what a great show that we can say that.
There's been multiple versions of, and I think that fake Deans, and I'm just observing that they're always like what fake Deans get wrong, and what I think Jensen does really well in like, and the writing does really well in the like in the difference between like a fake Dean and a real Dean is that the fake Deans are always like really, really smooth and really slimy. Like they know his persona is this idea of like he's charismatic and he's violent and he's funny and he's flirting with people, and they pull all that together and they act in this sort of like way, and they just take it a little too far. And I feel like all these personas like miss sort of like the stuff below the surface with Dean, which is like his kindness and his I sing along to sappy songs and I actually kind of make dad jokes and I'm actually vulnerable like really easily if you poke me just a little bit. And I think like all his fake
he always gets a pass.
And and like I think all these fake personas are so interesting because they miss that, and instead they just like play this sort of like big persona. And you see that with this Leviathan Dean where it's not like the Leviathan Sam is a little more believable. The Leviathan Dean is like so not believable. It doesn't feel like Dean at all.
Nope.
Yeah, it's
in any way. It's gone so much over. And I think that's a common thing where like people get in, like these monsters get into Dean's head and they think they understand him. But they like miss the point, which I think also viewers miss the point of Dean sometimes. Like when people sometimes criticize him as a character, it's because they've missed the same point. Anyway, I just want to point that out because it was a pattern I've been noticing. And I really like Jensen's acting choices when he plays an alternate version because he just plays them with an edge that the real Dean doesn't have.
Ever in defense of Dean Winchester being a soft goober.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Anyway, that's all I need to say about that.
Phenomenal addition. We love it. Okay. Last note I've got is Bobby and Jody are really fucking cute and I adore them.
Okay, how do we feel about this? I want to hear how everyone feels about this Bobby / Jody situation.
I preferred Bobby and Ellie a little bit, but Bobby and Jody are really sweet and really cute. And the way that he gives her a kiss on the cheek
the morning after, goodbye.
Which we all know they fucked, right? Like
do we think that? Do we think that?
No, I don't think that at all.
100%.
I don't think that at all, and here's why.
Okay, I'm willing to hear your defense and then my counter argument.
This made me really sad because I think that Jody was on board. Like Jody,
Or like curious.
For sure,
Jody
for sure.
feels curious at the beginning.
Jody's Bobby curious, if you will.
Yeah.
Jody's
like,
Bobby
she's
curious.
like, I don't know. I came over because I wanted to be nice, but like he's flirting a little, so like
yeah. And I think Bobby is also on board and like has this realization where he's like, oh, Jody is maybe into me, and like she came over to take care of me, and that's really nice. And then the Leviathan gets in his head and picks on his insecurities, and then he chickens out and he decides not to make a move with Jody because he got insecure.
Sam, I'm gonna need you to know how much this canon breaks my heart.
No,
terrible and does match the canon.
Respectfully,
and it makes me so sad.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because
okay.
I think you're right on the same boat that like, yeah, he was getting in his head and it was like freaking him out a lot. But then she figures out the borax stuff because of like what she's doing upstairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that reinvigorates him to where like, you know what, there's hope again. Like there's hope that we can fight these monsters that are supposedly unbeatable and impossible to deal with. Maybe life isn't so bad. And then he goes upstairs and lays some pipe.
But he looks really sad when she leaves. Like he kisses her on the cheek and then he looks really sad.
It is adorable, but it's the mark of a
he wanted to like kiss her,
but he did. When he finds out the borax thing, he comes upstairs and gives her a whole ass kiss.
And it was amazingly like I just say like historically, I was not ever really a fan of their dynamic. Episode, it was so endearing this viewing, and I don't know why. I don't know if that's just because like I'm emotionally sensitive right now or what, but I thought it was really something.
Welcome to Supernatural.
Yeah, I also feel that way. Like I think I'm not torn between your two headcanons here because I can see them both being true, which I kind of like the ambiguity that the show doesn't actually tell us which one is true.
Yeah.
We kind of can live in that in between of like, is this sad because it almost happened, or is this, you know, like sweet because it did happen? And like,
I think I'm team Sam on this one.
Your team Sam? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, no, I don't want you to be right either, but
how it comes across to me.
I think that the reason he was sad whenever he said goodbye
I think it's a goodbye.
Yeah, because he thinks that this Leviathan fight is gonna end up one way or the other, and he wants her to not be included in that fight, and so he's trying to say goodbye, like genuinely.
Right. Even if they had this great night together and there is a chemistry, there's a spark there, it's still goodbye because he doesn't they can't do anything else with it.
Yeah.
And either way, it's kind of a sad goodbye. It's either a goodbye we didn't explore it, or it's a goodbye we did explore it, but it's still goodbye.
We explored all of
one
it.
time.
Oh boy.
Right. It's the just one night. It's the just one night trope. Like, we can't be together, but we can have one night.
I love that.
It's got fanfics out there for sure.
I want to actually find out how much Jody Bobby fanfic there is out there. I'm not gonna. Give me like a moment. Just there are only 230 on Archive of Our Own. There are only 231 stories that are tagged with Jody Mills / Bobby Singer.
Oh,
good for them.
And that does not necessarily mean they are the main character of those. I would actually argue, in fact, they're probably not the main character of most of those. From just a quick look, most of them are like Destiel. Yeah, most of them are they're a side relationship.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
But as recently as like the 27th of June, someone wrote a fic that this year someone wrote a fic that did feature Jody Mills / Bobby.
Was dead? Never.
Oh yeah.
Surprise.
Not as long as we draw breath, bitch.
The day this podcast stops is the day Supernatural dies.
I do want to do a quick look and see who Bobby is shipped with the most.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
I do want predictions for this first. Who do you think? What pairing does Bobby get paired with the most? Who does Bobby get paired with the most in fanfic? I have a hypothesis that I think is correct. But
I think it's going to be Ellen.
Okay, what's your top three?
Ellen, Ellie, Eleanor. I don't know. I just had to pick one that was kind of similar. Ellen, Ellie, Crowley. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about Crowley.
Oh, right. I also forgot about Crowley. Rufus.
Oh, fuck. Rufus.
That's why I want your top three, because I think there's a lot of possibilities.
Oh, no.
It's Rufus, and Rufus is my answer.
Yeah. Okay, I've searched. I'm getting all the data before I
think it's Ellen.
Give it to you.
And then
also,
Rufus,
August,
and then
I'm
Crowley.
texting one that I can't say.
Yes, I'm aware you were texting me one. Yep, I am aware that was the one I thought you were texting me. Oh,
Don't say
wow. That's actually
Elayna.
so surprising.
Fuck, is that what you just texted?
No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm so
Or
upset
is
by
it?
one of these results.
Oh no.
Isn't it?
Oh,
Or
no.
is it?
Don't make it Dean. John?
Oh no, I'm
No
not
way.
looking up. I'm looking at ones that have a basis in canon. I'm looking at ones that like have
Thank God.
some like they've had significant chemistry in canon. Not necessarily
Right.
that they had a relationship in canon, but that they had some significant chemistry in canon. I'm looking at Bobby Eleanor. I'm looking at Bobby Ellie, Bobby Jody, Bobby Ellen, Bobby Rufus.
Bobby, wait.
I need to know the number of Bobby Rufus.
6 million.
Okay,
Probably
so
like-
I've got four. I've got Bobby Jody, Bobby Ellen, Bobby Rufus, and Bobby Ellie.
Wait,
Is there anyone I need? Oh, Bobby
Crowley.
Crowley. Yes, that's the other one. I needed.
Yes.
I was like, I knew there was one more that I needed to
Actually,
look at.
I think that one is going to be it because people are silly and horny.
Yeah,
And they
I
picked
want it
up on
to
the
be Rufus,
chemistry.
but I think it's Crowley.
A late addition, but a good one.
Okay, here we go. Here are the results. I'm going to go from lowest,
From lowest to highest.
highest.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so
Fantastic.
coming in at a really, really surprisingly low number of picks here. We have Bobby Ellie with only 5 picks where they are tagged. Five
The
singular.
fuck?
5 singular.
Okay, there are too many people out there that are afraid to make Bobby a monster fucker. And the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, coming in second, also I'm kind of sad about the fact that this is still really low.
lowest,
comparatively.
right?
Fourth.
Second lowest. Fourth on our list is Bobby/Rufus
No.
with
Holy
only
shit.
60. There's only 60 fics tagged Bobby/Rufus. There is a
Oh,
dearth
it
of
is
Bobby/Rufus fics. That's truly sad.
Abysmal. AO3 writers, fix it.
Coming in third is Bobby Jody
Okay.
at about 250 fics.
My predictions are looking real good right now.
They really
Coming
are.
in second, okay, so we're going from 250. Coming in second with 952 fics is Bobby/Crowley.
Yes!
That's
Okay,
not
but coming in first,
I fucking won.
coming
who's
in first, Bobby/Ellen at 965.
Yeah.
Only
Oh, that's close.
13 more.
That's close.
Bobby and Ellen, Bobby and Crowley, 13, a difference of
Wow.
13
Wow.
tagged fics.
Okay, cool. I'm
Listen,
Absolutely
the Bobby
fascinating
Rufus
results.
shippers cry
I-
tonight.
will never not be excited that my
Yes,
Bobby radar
my hair
was
is
that
just
good.
like, do we see this happening?
Okay, anime Elayna, what's
What
up?
is going on?
Thank
I
you for that
don't know.
research, August. That was some top
welcome.
notch.
It was
You
thorough, and
did
I loved
great.
it.
And I appreciate the dedication. And
You're welcome. I needed to.
even more so the fact that I was right.
Needed to satisfy the brainworms.
Correct. Okay, sorry. Last thing I need to shout out about this episode is this old sheriff that is giving Dean so much shit and then walks out and sees one of his officers eating another one and then like comes back and is like, okay, yeah, whatever you need, dog. I got you.
Yeah, he's like,
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Just saw.
And then lies to the FBI about it. Yeah, okay. I support
way to go,
him
Grandpappy.
alone. ACAB all day.
Really?
Fictional, but also this guy, he's pretty okay.
Yeah.
I want to believe that he quit immediately after this, you know?
You know what? I
retired.
think he would have moved on. I need to be in a different line of work.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do. I really, really do.
Or maybe just retire.
You know what? Retiring is a good option. I think that brings us to the end of this episode. We didn't really talk about the theme much, but like there's a lot of confusion in this episode. I think we talked about
Confusion about
adjacent things.
whether or not Jody and Bobby hooked up. We get it. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. Read into that what you will. It is now time for our final and favorite section of this episode, which is our character blessings. Who wants to start? Who do you want to bless from the episode?
I would like to bless Jody.
Yay!
Because what a sweet soul to just come over to take care of Bobby, knowing that like he's always taking care of the boys. He's always taking care of someone but himself. And she just went over and was like, I'm going to make you food and clean your house
And bring beer,
and bring beer.
which is underrated for Bobby. You know, like he appreciates that.
Yeah.
Beautiful blessing. I'm gonna jump right in and bless Bobby, of course.
Yeah.
Because that's my guy, and he was so great
Okay,
this
we know.
episode. Sorry, I
We know
won't
you're
say it every
massive,
episode. I'm
massive
sorry.
crush on Bobby.
I gotta say it as much as I can for the next 5 episodes. Anyway,
For no reason at all.
for no reason at all. So sorry if anybody watching along with us has not seen the rest of the show, but
Noah
welcome to
also
my
has
world.
no actual knowledge. Noah is
Correct.
just
I'm confident.
Noah is just projecting
my fear and anxiety
onto the future episodes we haven't seen yet.
But he did so great doing his detective work via torture, which was cool. And then in my belief, he got some at the end of it. So like, I appreciate him for his strength and his dedication to the brothers, to the fight, but also his dedication to getting that dick wet. Anyway.
My God.
I love Bobby. He was so good this episode. I love him. I cannot wait to see more of him.
He's the one that figures it out.
He figures, Bobby
deserves some, Jody figures it out, but he's the one that
saw it, witnessed it, spread it to the brothers.
Put the pieces together.
Yeah.
They're still dead, 100% dead without Bobby in this episode. So.
100%.
Yep.
Absolutely. Props to
they're
Bobby.
dead several seasons ago without Bobby.
That's true. They're dead before the show starts without Bobby.
Yeah, really.
Because he gave John like a lot of information about, hey, kids need to eat, right? Right, John? Kids need to eat.
I mean, John didn't listen to him, but Bobby probably
tried his best.
Elayna, who you want to bless?
I am going to bless the poor traumatized sheriff.
Yeah. He looks like he's just about to retire.
Yeah, I really wish him a happy retirement and lots of therapy. Because I can't imagine that was the experience. Yeah, that's my bless for the day.
Wait, didn't he die at the end?
No.
Oh,
I think he survived.
No, he dies.
What?
He does. Oh,
he's dead.
He's eaten.
In my head canon, he has a happy retirement.
He gets eaten
by the other FBI agent that comes back in.
Oh yeah, you're right. Him and his assistant daughter.
His daughter, who's like the coroner.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, shout out to him because he really adjusted fast. He came into this situation. And at first you were like, he's doing his job. He's making sure that they are staying behind bars. And then he pivots really quick. And kudos to him for that pivot really quick because it saves some people's lives. Not his, but some people's.
And not his daughter's, which hurts even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. R.I.P. Kind sheriff.
Wish he'd gotten a name. But anyway. August, what about you? Who do you want to bless?
See, I thought Elayna was going to bless either Sam or Dean, and then I was going to have an easy choice of which one I want to bless. I want to bless
bless Sam. You want to.
I'm going to bless Sam.
Yeah.
Because he found out some information that was not fun to find out. And he's got a lot going on in his brain right now. And it is a lot to handle. And it is hard when you've got a lot to handle. And then someone you were rebuilding trust with breaks that trust. So a blessing for Sam. A blessing for Sam as he takes some time and space. Sometimes you got to take time and space. And he's taking some time and space to process this. And a blessing for him as he processes that however he needs to.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now that you've said that and you've said that you wish him the time and space to deal with that, I'm writing a headcanon in which his time he spends away from Dean, he goes off with the doctor and adventures through time and space. So thank you for that very brief fanfiction that happened in my brain.
Shirley, right? 15? Okay, we're all on the same page. Also, just a bonus blessing for Dean Winchester because he got some decent closure and he cuts off his own head and says, wow, that feels good. Just a little bonus blessing there.
Yeah. Let's not investigate the self-hatred that leads to that feeling, but it's
in the moment.
It's the catharsis.
The catharsis.
Listen, if there was a therapy session I could go to where I cut the head off of a dummy of my past self just to process shit, I would probably take that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that wouldn't do that? That thinks that would be really bad for my own mental health?
Probably.
The metaphor of that.
Yeah, I think
me?
so.
Yeah. But that is the most valid I've heard all day.
Yeah.
And I wish I had that level.
I'm too de-encoded for this to be a good idea.
My blessing goes to August now because you are the most mentally well-adjusted of the four of us.
Yeah, truth.
Where are your secrets, friend?
I'm getting roasted today.
How is that roasted? It's a compliment.
Yeah, that is an intense compliment of your mental wellness versus the disasters you seem to be.
We would all jump at the chance to murder our past selves, and you're like, I would just talk to them, probably.
I think that's not.
This would depend on my past self. If it was kid past me, then I would.
I should hope you're not kid.
Yeah, I would give them a hug and say, "I'm so sorry, the world sucks." But me of a couple years ago, making really dumb decisions, off with their head.
Okay. Well, I want to bless all of you for that.
Listening.
I love the plot twist that this blessing session has taken.
I'm very concerned, and I would like you to treat all of your past selves with compassion because they deserve it.
This is why we made a podcast together.
And this is why you are an elementary school teacher.
Facts. Oh, shit.
On that note, that's all we have for you today. Thank you all.
The final blessing I have is for all of our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. You guys are our real heroes.
Yes.
Poetry snaps to that.
We love you. Thanks for listening and being with us. It's really nice to have this conversation with friends.
Yeah.
Both the ones that are on the Zoom call and the ones that are listening to us.
Which, okay, if we're gonna shout out our listeners and how great they are, I think there's no better person to shout out than our boy Nick Lynx.
Yeah.
Because this guy, oh my God. Okay, first of all,
you, Nick.
He's a hero and a legend. And he's listened through our back catalog almost in its entirety over the past.
In like a span of a month?
Yeah, like he's wild. Not only does he listen to ours, he listens to most of our little pod squad group.
Yeah.
Like, he listens to all of them, gives feedback, hypes everybody up.
Honestly, Nick, you're a legend.
Nick, you're a hero. Please
you.
never stop updating us on how you feel about the certain episodes.
Yes,
it's so great. I live
literally
through you.
Filling our buckets.
Also, due to one of our pod squads doing like the whole Twitter, like who's your Twitter family? Nick and I got paired as I think Hannah's parents, which was great. It was very fun. I was like, okay.
I missed this.
I love the supportive partner.
This was a while ago. This is good. This is good.
This is so good. Nick, shout out to you.
If you want to listen to us, Sam's going to tell you where you can do that.
Yes. Make sure that you are subscribed to Saving People Queering Things. We are wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you like our show, share it with your friends. And you can also join our free Discord server, which is a lot of fun. You can find links to our socials and catch up with our latest season mixtapes, all on our website, which is queeringthingspodcast.com.
Our Discord server is fantastic because that's where Nick is updating us on everything he's listened to, and it's great.
You can live listen.
Yes. Or you can follow along with Nick. That'd be so cool.
Talk to us about the show, about Supernatural, just of your life. We like making
Tell
friends.
us your favorite unhinged opinions.
Yes.
Send us your
Give us mixtape suggestions. Do you have mixtape suggestions for any episode upcoming in season 7 or beyond, or like a blessing you want to share? If you want to share a blessing, we will send us an audio message. We will play it on the show. Like,
yes,
Nick, this part's for you. Send us a message and we'll shout you out on one of these coming episodes.
Yeah, or type out, or if you don't want to audio record yourself, like type out a blessing, send us a blessing. We would absolutely love to feature that on a future episode.
Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe our biggest fan, I think. I mean, if anyone wants to fight Nick for that title, hit us up on our Discord.
Nick might have to fight me.
But also, speaking of where you can listen to us and how many different silly ways we can hype ourselves up and, share our skittle opinions. Sorry, KJ. Queering People Saving Throws, which is all 4 of these lovely people that are on this episode of the podcast, along with KJ of Supernatural Opinions. We take a little, not a little, it's a big deep dive into a queer D&D adventure, and it's releasing on Fridays right here on our feed.
Yeah, it's very fun. Have to go anywhere. Just stick around here and you'll see it.
Stay tuned after the show for a deeper look into D&D.
You know what? Can you say rep check just to make my heart happy?
Rep check?
Thank
you. I haven't heard that in so long.
God, it's been a minute.
That dose of serotonin.
Wow.
Be sure to ride along with us next week as we explore Season 7, Episode 7, The Mentalist, through the theme of self-discipline.
Just gotta say, if that episode has anything to do with the, Simon Baker, Patrick Jane, The Mentalist show, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I don't know. Could be.
Wait and see.
Cool.
Tune in next time.
Thank you all so much for coming along for the ride, and we wish you a peaceful route till we meet again.